Oh, the weather's changed quite a bit, hasn't it? Gone from the really hot and sunny to, well, today it's more sunny. Yesterday looked blooming miserable, and we had high winds and freezing cold rain. But we've got a lot of work done in the last week on the allotment, mainly kind of infrastructure stuff. But if you remember, we have two sheds. One is an old one, kind of painted a dark green, that my mum donated to us, and then we had a new one that we installed a couple of months ago, which was the treated timber. Trying to think of a better word for orange, but that's what it was really, wasn't it? The horrible orange. Well, we finally painted it, so now we've got the tin roof on and it's painted. Let's give you a show. So there you go, nice tin roof, and it's a kind of mid-grey stain that's gone onto the wood. So come over here, and if you'll see it better, there's a nice sort of stain rather than a full-on paint. Still got the beehive, which don't know if I can actually show. I don't think it's going to show in there at all, but there is more than one bee living in there now, which is excellent. I've had to move the solar panel because with the new roofing, the lip is a lot more than it used to be. So when I had it sat up here, we're actually finding first thing in the morning, only half of it was getting the sun. Then obviously it moves around during the day like it is here, so it's not actually getting much sunlight now anyway. But yeah, I had to move it down to get that. Not sure if I'm going to have to move this one as well, but this one seems to be getting full sunlight at the minute. And all it does is power a little LED light, so I think that one will be fine. But yeah, as you can see, the tin roof is on. The buckle's gone from the middle. Managed to convince Lily to climb up there for me. Me underneath, obviously, making sure she was safe. And she was able to bolt that down for me, so that's great. And Roy, the allotment secretary chairman, he's still got his two little chairs that he can still sit here and look out over the plots. We can see Bridget's sweet peas are really doing well. Not a lot else has changed around here except for more painting. How's that? The Coles family in search of our good life. So if I fully open the doors now and get a bit more light in here, the inside is painted a blue, although on the camera to me it looks like it's coming out a bit of a grey. If in fact it actually looks like we've missed half of it. Excuse me. But no, we haven't. It's meant to have that seaside feel sort of thing to it. Hence why we have the little lighthouse hanging as the light switch. But yeah, you can see inside our cabin, the dog has his own cushion. We've got our own nice bench. Little stove. Some basic stuff in there. Gas for the stove. We've got our Frontier stove with water boiler, which of course we're not going to be using this time of year. Not unless the temperature really drops. Going through the flashing. Spare kettle, teapot, mugs, various different drinks and some soups and whatnot. Of course, tea, the important stuff. And a little speaker so we can play the radio through our phones if we want. And then just basic stuff in here. So a box that's got a load of seeds in, a dish that's got some seeds, which are the ones that we're going to be putting in, or thinking of putting in this year. Don't know if you can hear that noise rattling outside. That's the old roofing from the potting shed, the plastic stuff. That's sat around there and it's just bouncing away in the wind. Bridget's trug, bags, lots of gloves. Oh, excuse me, I'm still coughing here. It's alright, I'm not ill. It is just a frog in my throat. So yeah, we did flooring. If you can see that nicely. Nice bit of flooring. I think I previously mentioned that one. But we've got our washing up facilities. So we've got copper piping. So we've got a dish. Copper piping that comes round and down. And then if you look under here, you'll see it's via various different connectors, goes into some piping, which then goes to a foot pump. Foot pump draws water from this container. So in theory, by foot pump we have water. But obviously we have to refill it every now and again. But since we're on this site, we don't actually have mains water. Works perfectly. And a couple of nice old vintage allotment signs. I think look absolutely lovely. And I like this little one. It's what Jack wanted as a reward for helping me put the shed up. He just wanted his name immortalised as such. So there you go. I'll make myself a cuppa. It takes a little bit of time to fill up the kettle compared to just pouring it out. But the great thing is, you can wash your hands and stuff. Got towels, so you can wash your hands before leaving the plot, which means that you don't go and put dirty hands all over the car steering wheel. Things like that. Right, so that's set off. So what's my aim on the plot today? Well, finished work, come up here, finding it actually a lot warmer here than at home. On the outside, our yard where you open the door up to, it's pretty cold, but then that is north facing. Whereas here on the plot, the sun is actually beating down quite hard, even though we've got quite a bit of wind. So I don't know if you can still hear the rattling of that old roof. Yeah, but what I wanted to be doing today is putting an extra little bit of compost down into some of the brassica beds and putting a load of brassicas out. We've got Brussels, collies and lots of cabbage to go. Some of the cabbage could do with being a bit bigger, but I think it's all ready to go out now. Unfortunately, we're supposed to have had a frost last night, which thankfully we didn't have here. I think it only got down to about -2 last night, but tonight is supposed to be a little bit worse. The weather forecast here specifically still says only 1 degree. You know, but you know, plus or minus 1 degree accuracy could get a frost. So there is a chance that we're going to get a bit of frost burn onto the potatoes. I'm hoping the peas and everything will be fine. Also want to put out the runner beans and French beans at some point, but I'm sure that'll be later this week. Taking Friday off work as another toil day, with Bridget being off, since she's a nurse. Don't know if I've said that before, but she's not on shift on Friday, so the two of us are going to come down here and hopefully plant a load of stuff out. Yeah. Got to say, at the minute, the allotment is doing me the world of good. It's not good in this period of lockdown at the minute, where people are shut up and prevented from going out anywhere. And I've got to say that if it wasn't for coming here, I think I would be going absolutely loopy at the moment. I think one of the things this lockdown is doing is it's starting to highlight to some people exactly what mental health is all about and how important it is. For me, this has been a lifeline. I don't know what I would do if I hadn't been able to come here. Being able to, you know, kind of prepare the ground and plan it forward for the future, and also being able to, or having to do things where you are deliberately thinking about the future and having to have patience, having to think about what is going to happen as time progresses on. Always having to plan that one step ahead, but always thinking about later on in the year. There's always a tomorrow. I think there's a quote, isn't there, that to plant a garden is to believe in a tomorrow. I'm not sure who said that quote, but I really like that one, because I think when it comes to things like mental health, it's very poignant. It means a lot. I think it kind of hits the nail on the head, really. Without something to look forward to and to plan, I think you'll find that a lot of people struggle. A lot of people do. there used to always be this thing about old people sitting in homes where people used to say they were doing things like just sitting there waiting to die, which is a horrible expression, really. But if you think about it, a lot of the time they don't have anything to look forward to. They literally suffer every single day like the rest of us are now in this lockdown, but you're sitting there with nothing to do. Yes, you might be working from home, which is probably helping a lot, but ultimately, if you don't have anything to do, no work or anything like that. I mean, when I finish work for the day, if I didn't have here, I would then just be sat on the sofa. I'd just be sat on the sofa watching rubbish TV until it was bedtime. Then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up, wash, dress, start work again until it was time to go and sit on the sofa all evening. So I think, yeah, this really is a godsend for me. I think I would go mad and possibly worse. But yeah, it's great that I can do things here. So yeah, anyway, over the weekend, all this was finished painting. Had help from the kids tidying a few bits up. We took various different packets of seeds, and these are all kind of bedding seeds, stuff that comes up to about 30 centimetres. Plus we also got some of Bridget's lupins, some of those seeds. And what we did is we took one of the dibbers, we went round, made some holes, and then we just sprinkled some seed in, covered it back up, and then we made sure it was all watered. And it has rained a little bit over the weekend, over the evenings. Not brilliantly, but enough to keep that going. And the kettle's going to go now, isn't it? And it's going to completely interrupt me. You just hear it starting to whistle. But yeah, so we've got those planted. So the idea is that that's going to come through during summer, around the fruit. It will help to keep the weeds down, and we've got loads of stuff coming up. We also pulled out... You can get really loud now. Shush. There you go. That will start that one up. But yeah, so we planted those seeds, did a bit of weeding and a bit of clearing up, and like I say, Lily helped finish off the roof, which means we're now in a point where, other than having to go round and do the odd little bit of weeding and picking bindweed, the damn stuff, out of the ground, yeah, we're at the point where we can just grow now, which is great. I'm not going to go and give you another tour because it will just look exactly like the previous couple of ones. I don't want to bore you to death. But suffice to say, moving those windmills and putting the bird scare tape up has worked. They've stopped trying to pick up the peas. We have also noticed that the direct sow leeks, they've started to pop up. I think there was 1 or 2 spring onions as well. Still not convinced that the parsnips have come up, or whether they're weeds. They're still not in regular lines, so I'm not convinced. Let's wait till they get a bit bigger though. And we also put in the carrots. Again, that was via tape, like the parsnips. So they should hopefully grow in nice straight lines as well, and not need thinning out. Yeah, maybe. You don't know. It looks like a few more of the potatoes have come out, which is a bit of a pain at the minute, because I'd have rather them waited another week before they finally popped up, because like I say, if there's frost tonight, we're going to get some frost burn on those. But hey ho, that's life in a garden, isn't it? But yeah, we've got lots of peas coming up now, lots of new shoots. Some of the original ones that I'd planted and then sort of sown into the little pots and then grown over, they're now starting to properly climb up and grab hold of stuff. Some of them have died, as I kind of expected. But yeah, I put in more seeds and more shoots are coming up. The nasturtiums and the marigolds, dahlias, they're all starting to shoot up now. So hopefully very soon, in a couple of weeks, we'll have some real progress to show, and it'll be worth doing another plot tour. But yeah, my job today was playing around with the dibber yesterday, and we used a couple of. We've basically got 3 dibbers, and one of them was left by the previous guy. These other 2 were actually from broken spades. So that other one actually, but as you can see, it literally is just where a spade or something has snapped. This was a short spade, whereas this one had actually snapped, and I think I then snapped it further up to make it shorter. But they're not particularly pointy to go into the ground. So my job today is I'm going to get a carving axe, tomahawk, and a knife to these, and see if I can round them off a bit better and use those. Plus I'm going to read my Kindle, and I'm going to put my feet up, and I'm going to drink lots of tea, and yeah, when Bridget finishes work, she's going to come here, and we're just going to enjoy the sun setting on the plot, because it's really nice here. All right, see you next time. Take care.